Hello and welcome. This is Christy Haig with a tutorial for you from digitalscrapbookingclasses.com. Here is a layout that I have just finished scrapbooking, and I'm ready to resize it and save it so that I can post it on the web, and I just want to share with you how I go about doing that. First of all, you want to make sure that you have saved it as a PSD file. I have my title and I've saved it, and I've already done this, but I'll just redo it again. It'll tell me that it already exists and I'll replace it. Now this is going to save the Photoshop format, which will save all of the layers and allows you to excuse me, to come back at a later date and change something or fix something. Or alter something. It is a fairly large file as far as computer space, so at some point you might want to move some of your PSD files to an external hard drive or someplace where you don't need to access them as regularly. So once that's saved, we're then going to save it as a JPEG in a much smaller file size, a much smaller paper size, so that we can upload it to the web. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the Layers palette and I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose Flatten Image. I can also do that from the Layer menu up top, Flatten Image. Same thing will happen. It's going to tell me that I have some layers that are hidden, and I just discard those, that's fine. And you'll notice in the Layers palette that it's no longer layered, it's now all in one graphic, one layer. The reason I flatten it first is mostly to keep my styles so that when I resize it, none of the shadows get messed up or anything like that, so I don't have to pay attention to all of that when I go to resize the layout. So I'm just going to flatten it first. Then I go to Image, Resize, Image Size, and this menu pops up. Make sure that all three of these boxes are clicked, and the width right now is 3600 pixels. I want it just to be 600 pixels, so I'm going to type 600. Because I have constrained proportions clicked, it's going to change the height also. You can, if you want to, set the resolution, but it really doesn't matter, because when it's uploaded to the web, it simply matters how many pixels wide and how many pixels high it is. So I have it set at 600, I just click OK. So that zoomed way down. I'm going to zoom back in so that I can see it better. So I'm going to click on my zoom function and pick the plus, the zoom in, and I'm just going to click on the layout a couple times just to get it bigger. And then you have the option of sharpening it. Now I like to sharpen it, and I actually have an action that I have purchased that I use to sharpen. It's this one right here by Michelle Pearson, Sharpen for the Web, and if I double click on that, it gives me a second layer and it sharpens it. Now this is too much sharpened for my taste, so I often go then and reduce the amount of sharpening that's here. And I also don't like the way it looks to have the text sharpened, so I oftentimes pick my eraser and an opacity around 50%. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger since my text is all right there, and I just sort of erase some of the top layer here so that you just see the regular text through it. I don't like the halo effect that the sharpening has on that. Now that's how I use it with my photo action, but I'm going to go ahead and undo that, so I'm back to my original layout here. You can also sharpen if you don't have an action by going Enhance to the Enhance menu, Adjust Sharpness. And you have a couple different options. Play around with the one that gives you the best look, and you can adjust the sliders to get the sharpest look that you want, and then you just click OK. Now this one did not do it in a second layer, so if you wanted to, you could have duplicated this layer and then added the sharpness so that you could have played with the opacity if you needed to, but since I altered the sharpness exactly like I wanted, I don't need it in another layer. So then you're going to go after either option, you're going to go to Save for the Web under the File menu, Save for the Web, and right here you're going to pick a JPEG file, And you'll notice down here that it tells you how big the file is. Right now my file is going to be 154K. Most online galleries I find request that or require that your file be under 150K. So the way that we change that is we come over here to the quality, and if I click this arrow or this little triangle, I can get a slider, and I oftentimes start at 60, and if the file's too big I'll move it down a couple until I find, so you see how every time I go down, when I go down all the way here, it comes down to even under 100. I'm just going to move it a little bit below 60. Let's try 59 is still a little over. We'll try 57. All right, 57 is under. Just under 150 is what you want. If you are saving something that is not a full layout but has areas of transparency, so maybe you're saving a circle layout or a bracket layout, then you will want to pick the Ping 24. But for just a regular layout, you pick the JPEG, adjust the quality, and then click OK. And it will ask you where you'd like to save it. This was a layout from pictures from 2008. It took the file name that I had and just gave it a little dash in between. That's because when you put graphics up on the web, sometimes spaces can really mess with the way that they're handled on the web, so it adds a little dash wherever there was a space. So that's a fine title for me, and I click Save. So that layout is now ready to be uploaded to the web. So here I am at Digital Scrapbooking Classes, and in the gallery, clicked right here, and then I click on the Upload Photos. A lot of online galleries you'll find work the same way. Sometimes the wording of the buttons is slightly different, but don't worry about that. Just see if you can follow along. And then you're going to find a button that says Choose Your File. When I click on that, it will take me to where I can find, these are saved on my external hard drive under my layouts. So I'm going to go to the folder where I had saved it, and I'm just going to scroll down until I find it. There it is. Click on that layout and click Open, and you'll notice that the name of the file is now there. I add the title. Whoops, I forgot the S there. And then there is a section for a description. The best thing to put there would be the credits for your layout. So here are the credits for the kit that I used, Marion Bright, and for the font that I used. If you want to add keywords, that'll help with people are searching in a gallery. And most galleries also have a drop-down menu where you can pick a category in the gallery that you want it. Right now I just want it saved in my member gallery. And then you just click Upload Submit. It will churn as it works to upload it, and it will give you one more option to check everything over. This gallery also gives you an option of adding other categories if you want, and then you click Process. And there you have it. The gallery will actually make a very small sort of thumbnail of your layout, but if you click on that layout, you can see the larger layout with the photo details down here. And if you ever want to link anyone to that layout, once you've clicked on it so it's big, you can just copy this URL right up here. Have fun and keep scrapping memories. For more tutorials and classes in digital scrapbooking, head over to digitalscrapbookingclasses.com. Have fun and keep scrapping memories.